they're probably not going to take a lot of Seattle bets. Putting Kansas City at the same number as Detroit or behind LA, way behind Green Bay, way behind Buffalo or Baltimore, who they beat every year, it feels like they are asking for Chiefs money. That would be my read on it, which I feel like usually the idea, Cam, is they never have to ask for Chiefs money.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
George, Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on three like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Looks like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Joe, you know I do this every single week. It's Wednesday. You know it's hump day. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. The official midway point of the show, the early line for this week. And it's our job and design to get you ready for this weekend, which we hope at 8 a.m. And by the way, Joe, I'm going to start here too. 8 a.m. is the gold medal game in hockey, which we hope it's going to be Canada versus USA. It's going to be must-watch television. But a lot of people complaining, why couldn't we have pushed this game back? Now, I understand. I think Sunday's the last day of the competition and also where they have, the closing ceremonies. But did they make the right move to have this at 8 a.m., or couldn't they just push it back? Like we see games, Joe, played at 3 o'clock today, 2 o'clock East Coast time. Why the 8 a.m. start?
Yeah, well, listen, get it done. They got places to go, people to see. Don't forget, these are NHL players that need to hurry up, get your medals, and get out because they do have a remainder of the NHL season they got to get back to. So the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. Get the gold, get your medal, and let's get back to the NHL, please.
I can't remember I don't know if it was a World Championship or World Cup, but I do want to say it was the Olympics. I want to say if Sweden won the gold medal back in the day, I think they had Forsberg on their team where whatever team Forsberg, I don't think he was playing for the Flyers at that point, maybe still for the Avalanche, but they let him stay like an extra week over there because of how big that win was, and they just wanted to party and celebrate. It means a lot. Like the Canadians will party, the U.S. will party. 2006 there, I believe it was, where they gave him extra time before he came back to the came back to the NHL, and some of the players were like, look, we know how big that was. Drink as much as you can the next 3 days. We'll give you a couple more days off. We'll see when we see at this point here. But it is good for the NHL and the Stars. I don't mind the break in hockey. I think it's good for hockey for these Stars to be able to play it. I think the players absolutely appreciate it because of how much it means to them as well. We'll get back to more of that talk coming up in just a little bit, Joe. But let's get back into the early lineup. Tony Clark. We just peeled back those onions, Joe. Number one, having an affair is a bad thing already to start. Doing with your sister-in-law, you wreck families at that point. And then you are being investigated by the Eastern, what do you call it? The Eastern District of New York at this point right now, too. My goodness, Joe. Not a good week for Major League Baseball's Players Association head here. Oof.
Yeah, not good at all. And this all stemmed from the federal investigation into, basically commingling funds here and making money without telling anybody. But they hired a out-of-town law firm to do an investigation inside the office, and that is where they came up with the text messages, which apparently are pretty interesting here between his sister-in-law and himself, and that is what opened up that can of worms, and that was the end of that.
Like one of the greatest jobs you can have. Like you're the Major League Baseball Players Union rep here. Everybody's always on the same page. Like you don't even have to convince anybody. It's the best union in sports where if you say, we're just going to strike until the owners break and like, cool, let's do it here. There's no pressure. And for like decades, you just get to sit around and collect paychecks because what are you negotiating when the CBA is already done? Only to do this. Absolutely ridiculous, but people are going to be people, and that's what they do. Tiger Woods, he had a press conference yesterday, Joe. Let's hear it right now.
Are you able to hit full shots yet, or and are you?
Yeah, I'm able to. Not well every day, but I can hit them.
Final thing with you in regards to your recovery, is the Masters off the table for you?
No.
I'll tell you one thing, Joe. It's incredible how still the big global superstar Tiger Woods is, despite being irrelevant on the golf course for the better part of a decade at this point. And also, you can't seem to think like, what would have happened if he just lived a clean life? How many majors would he have, and what would his imprint truly be on golf? Because it's massive right now. But we were robbed of a decade of golf, and it wasn't necessarily like, oh, bad breaks. Did it to himself.
Listen, what was it? 2019 when he that he won the Masters, I think, which was just absolutely nobody thought he was going to do it, there either. But listen, he wears that red shirt at Augusta. If he's there on a Sunday, it's going to be the biggest ratings bonanza that the event has ever seen. So some guys just have it, Donnie. You know what I mean? The guy is like a Halley's Comet. People like him don't come around but once every 100 years or so. The guy is a game changer. Even though he hasn't been on the golf course in how long, he's a game changer. It's unbelievable. And people were hanging on every word, and he wasn't saying a lot of words in that press conference, but people were hanging on every word he was saying. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like, again, like detrimental coming back. It's not, because he's an individual golfer. Like, you just want to see him out there for the excitement of it, regardless of what he does. And then you worry about who's going to win it. Like, Rory's going to take it again, or Scotty Scheffler can win it this year. It's just good to have him back. And again, the exemptions are probably for the next 150 years for how many majors he won. He can play until he's 95 years old if he wanted to do that. But him coming back to the sport is always a good thing to shine some light on it.
Yep.
We'll see if he makes it back to Augusta. And typical Tiger, if he's not ruling it out now, he's going to play no matter what, even if he's limping once again around that golf course here. Let's get over to more pressing news here in Major League Baseball, which includes FanDuel people, which are surely 9 teams in Major League Baseball, I think, that puts those games on for FanDuel. Gone, Joe. Now you're back to Major League Baseball doing their own games here, subscription services. Not a great look for Major League Baseball right now as Main Street Sports goes up in flames.
Yeah, I don't know how it's... there is so much money to be made with the rights to Major League Baseball, with, different cable networks and everything. That's a lot of content, Donnie. You got a lot of channels to fill, and Major League Baseball does a great job of filling that content on a nightly basis in the summer when nothing else is on. I don't know how you screwed it up. I really don't.
By the way, just a couple interludes. We're going to end the end of this here. I have some scheduling news in the NFL here, which we're going to get to in just a few moments. But also, 2026 Winter Olympics. We got till Sunday here, but we are waiting for hockey, as we know. But how about this one here? Norway's Frostad wins a gold over American forehand. What are we playing, tennis out there, Joe? Big battle in the air and some controversy, you say?
Big time controversy. I mean, yes, we got a medal, right? We got the silver, but there are a lot of people think that, maybe a little rigging going on there, a little bias in the judges, because everyone that's watched his jump back is like, how is he not the gold medal winner? But it's what happens when the games aren't in the U.S., I guess.
Mick Cronin ejects his own player from a game in a blowout loss, and a great press conference yesterday, Joe. Mick not having so much fun right now at UCLA.
Yeah, not fun, but fun for us, Donnie. I mean, anytime a coach actually ejects his own player, and it didn't come from the ref, I just love that, Donnie. He is a walking meme, Mick Cronin, and we should all treasure him while we can, because nobody gives us sound bites like he does.
By the way, also, like you're Mick Cronin, like you go out to LA and then it's like, okay, good. I'm in the Pac-12 here. I could probably dominate this thing. We're in our own space over here. And then like, oh, by the way, you're going to the Big Ten at this point. You can certainly enjoy that. He's like, oh my goodness, I got to play better competition and I got to travel, which is a disadvantage. So we go this weekend and get absolutely hammered by Michigan and Michigan State. He's like, you know what, man, enough of this right now, player. Get out of town. Ronda Rousey back in the ring at this point right now, once deemed unbeatable, then was completely beatable, now out of the sport for like a decade, now back in it to fight Gina Carano on Netflix.
That tells you everything you need to know about the state of the UFC and the fighting going on in the athletes there, because they are just running out of people. We're rolling people out that should have fought 10 years ago. Well, Dana turned it down, but I mean, they're using the UFC and mentioning the UFC hype on this fight to make themselves a lot of money. And I'm kind of shocked Dana is allowing them to do that. But hey, if you want to see a couple of over-the-hill former UFC fighters go at it, should be a fantastic car crash.
I mean, we watch an aging John Cena. Brock Lesnar comes out of retirement every single week for the WWE. And also now we're hearing like Ric Flair wants to get in the ring once again in his late 70s. Always run the people back, Joe. We will watch because we're all idiots along with them here.
That's
2026. Talk about idiots here. A budget deficit for a World Cup match, which is supposed to be infinite money. Fox Rose like, help! 8 million short. Please, people, help us.
Yeah, I don't think they thought that one through, Donnie. Really don't. I don't believe that when they originally were like, we'll take it. I don't think they dotted all the I's and crossed the T's there. I really don't.
It's like when the Super Bowl comes to town. Hey, the NFL's going to pay for everything. No, you're going to pay the NFL for everything. And you're going to like it. That's what's happening to people.
Had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
George, Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Quick news and notes here. The NFL, Joe, never sleeps. Always like to take the spotlight here. And also sometimes we scratch our head and say, what are we actually doing? Well, the San Francisco 49ers next year, they're going to play in Australia. And their own players, which include Christian McCaffrey, go, yeah, that's kind of far, and I don't think that makes a lot of sense. And it goes like, awesome, sweet. You know what's even better? We're going to take one of your home games away now and put you in Mexico City. The 49ers are going to play at the Falcons this year, at the Giants this year, in Adelaide, Australia, and also in Mexico City. That's good for player health, isn't it?
Yeah, what are they playing? You might as well just play the whole month out there as long as you're making that trip.
Yeah.
I can't make what are you going to turn around in 4 days? That just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's the NFL for you here. It's all about the money. We know this, Donnie. We all know it's all about the money.
And quick news and notes here for college football. NIU, which was one of those flagship programs for the MAC conference, said, you know what? We're too big for our britches now. We're going to go out to the Mountain West. And football is what drives the day. Their football coach in the month of February has now left to take a job with Seattle. Oh, Joe, what did he get? Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, assistant head coach? No, administrative assistant. Their head coach left them while they're going to an upgrade in their conference because he probably is like, this seems like a dead end and I'm out of here. Great look for NIU with that move.
Yeah, what he got was out of the Mountain West, and he's like, absolutely not. This is just a giant waste of time here. So, hey, listen, you got to start somewhere if you're going to make that jump into the NFL. So, given Mountain West, NFL, administrative, I'll take the NFL administrative assistant.
NFL administrative assistant. We don't even, does that even get paid? Is that a paid spot? Is that an internship? We don't know. But if you're a head coach in college football and you're like, I can't do this anymore, I'm going to take a job as an admin. Maybe he even just has pencils in the front office that he keeps a track of that he wants to do instead of coaching that team. That's never a good sign here. But I tell you what is a good sign, flipping it back over to the NBA here. NBC says the NBA All-Star Game averaged 8.8 million viewers across NBC, Peacock, and Telemundo per Nielsen. Largest NBA All-Star Game audience since 11. So let's understand this, Joe. You played when everybody could watch. The superstars actually gave a damn, and they turned in a good rating. Voila! What a concoction.
Yeah, that's a heck of a recipe for success, isn't it? I mean, we've only been screaming about that for how long here, Donnie? But yet another sporting event, or just event itself, that is the most watched ever. With Nielsen's new rating system here, where everything is the best thing ever watched in the history of television.
Look at this next one. I love this. Must be from like NBA 2K. A tweet from Today in Sports. This is how long LeBron James has been in the league. Look at the pixels and the graphics, Joe, from back in the day till now. Tough scene there looking at LeBron back in the day.
Technology advancements, especially in Madden and other video games, right? Shocker, yeah. Donnie. Absolute shocker.
Take a look from Dan Clark Sports here. World Series average viewership, 2025, 16.1 million per game. 2024, 15.8 million per game. Take a look at the NBA Finals average viewership in 2025, 10 million, followed by 2024's 11.3 million here. Look at that. Major League Baseball doing more damage in the NBA by a wide margin in their big championships.
Yeah, not even close, right? And we all thought like, oh boy, it's Toronto's in the World Series. Nobody's going to watch it. It's going to be, not good. And OKC wasn't great either last year for the NBA because a lot of people just didn't, there was no big mega superstar from a small market, just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, Canada. And by the way, they were right at that little asterisk there at 16.1 million last year, which included a team from Canada. You didn't get the boost of being like, okay, we'll get the New York market and the LA market involved in this point. It was actually a Canadian team. But if you like baseball, you're going to watch regardless of what that country is here. Front Office Sports sent a tweet out. The NBA is not finished with its Clippers investigation. Adam Silver this weekend said he hasn't reached any decisions as a law firm looks into the team's dealings with Aspiration and Kawhi Leonard, calling the investigation enormously complex. You know what's complex about that? Kawhi, come to L.A. We can't offer you as much as some other teams due to salary cap restraints, but I got a buddy over here that owns a company that will dump endless funds in there for a partnership with you that you don't have to show up or do anything for.
Yeah, and the company was just a shell. I mean, of course, it's unbelievably complicated. That's the whole reason the way they set it up is that makes it very difficult to follow the money. That's the whole point as to why it was set up that way. But you know what? Still showed up at the All-Star game, good old Kawhi in his own building there, and almost carried that team to a winning situation and maybe an MVP. That would have been priceless.
Would have been priceless here. And by the way, a lot of credit going here to Victor Wembanyama for saving the All-Star game here when he goes, I'm going to take it serious. My world team's going to take it serious. We're going to come and beat down the Americans here and handle business. Then showed up in the court and walked the walk and talked the talk. And the U.S. was like, you know what? We better wake up here. He's getting a lot of credit here, Joe. How about that? Leader of the free world. Is it Wembanyama?
We talked about it, right? Even Anthony Edwards said when he got the MVP, he's like, listen, man, we came out there and Wemby is just, he's bulldozing guys. He's like, what choice there? Everyone just was like, all right, let's go. So, yeah, Wemby actually set the tone for everyone to actually care a little bit for an exhibition game, which is kind of hard to believe.
Oh, I like this. A little shot at the NBA at this point. Well, Dame shares a message of Steph Curry, says he's going to come back to the three-point competition. All right, that's fine and good. But look at the message there. Next year, me, you, Clay, Book, and 4 more real shooters, which means there were no real shooters in this three-point competition, apparently, that Dame beat. Is that what he's saying?
Well, Bobby Portis was a participant in that. Like, yeah, I don't blame you. Like, Steph, like, let's bring the best the NBA has to offer from 3-point range, and let's see, may the best man win.
Millionaires make me laugh at this point. When you're a millionaire in your own area, like, okay, man, I dominate this year. Beverly Hills is a completely different spot where money doesn't matter because everybody has more money than the next person. You can't just go to Beverly Hills and say, I'm going to throw a big house party when they told you can't do that. And then when the police show up, you get angry at them, Joe. Abide by the rules or just move into downtown LA or have a party somewhere else. You cannot have a house party where money doesn't matter. People will be like, you're not doing that here, and you're getting shut down.
Yeah. Know the room, man. Like, know the area. Understand who the audience is there. Yeah, they're not allowing that to happen at all.
Hey, I got $500 million in the bank account. You know the guy next door here? He actually owns a country. Yeah, an actual country. Yes. He doesn't want to have a house party next to his promising house here at this point. We're going to talk more about Polymark and Kelsey next. Make sure you stick to that right here on the SportsGrid Network.
You had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Can you feel it in your blood, people? Major League Baseball starting to ramp up, but maybe they ramp down next year and we don't have a season. We'll get to a couple of those topics in just a few moments, but we love these type of markets that we can look at with Calcium Polymarket, a different way to invest here. And if we're talking about the American League, who's going to win the MVP, it always starts and apparently lately finishes with Aaron Judge on Calci, currently trading at a 36% chance to win the MVP. Right behind him is hit machine out there in Kansas City, Bobby Witt Jr., which, if you look at Kansas City's field and the Yankees field, it's a huge advantage to Aaron Judge, but not as much as it was last year, Joe, is Kansas City going to move in some of those fences and lower them down, maybe helping Bobby Witt, but he sits there with a 21% chance to win MVP.
Well, and it's funny. Did we learn nothing from last year? I mean, let's be realistic. We started this season where we were like, the odds were so ridiculous, Donnie. We were like, you know what? Just name the awards after Ohtani and Judge and be done with it. Like, nobody is going to. Well, Ohtani, there was never a question about it. But all of a sudden with Cal Raleigh, there's always somebody that pops up and maybe, you know, the same old isn't. There could be some value maybe looking a little bit lower down on that board, Donnie, because, listen, nobody had Cal Raleigh neck and neck with Aaron Judge the final couple of weeks of the season. Not even remotely close.
AL MVP. And again, you're right about this, too. Like, you just had a guy last year as a catcher hit 60 bombs, and it was still Aaron Judge. So Bobby Witt's going to have to lead Major League Baseball in hits, average, RBI, and home runs to take down Aaron Judge. See if he can do it this year, but it's just a credit to Aaron Judge and how good he is, and he works in that ballpark, man. Swinging a long drive, even if John Sterling can't tell if it's a foul ball, home run, or what, it goes out of the park here. Let's get the golf action here. The Genesis Invitational. No surprise. Who do you want to invest in? Of course, it's Scotty Scheffler at 24%, Rory at 7%, Xander Schauffele at 5%. It's a shame that we can't invest in Tiger Woods in this market right now. Or how about Colin Morikawa? Fresh off a victory after 900 days on the tour, coming in red hot this week, only trading at a 4% chance, Joe.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? Maybe he's still celebrating for that first win in a long time. But honestly, the hot hand, it's so hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler. But quite honestly, Donnie, to me, the only way to approach him in the markets like that is look for ways to fade him. I mean, that's really the only way that you can make any money on him. Because if he goes out and he's the first round leader, that is just going to be ridiculous. It's over.
Yeah, it's almost like you hope for him to shoot even par on a Thursday and be like, oh, now he's going to win. I get an actual price on him. Well, wait, he's back 7 strokes. Don't worry. In about 24 hours, he'll be in the lead or at least 1 stroke off it. That's how you approach Scotty Scheffler here. Now, here's the marketplace that we need to know, Joe. I sometimes like to get on a hill and take a stand and be like, this doesn't make any sense. And from what you're hearing, say, Donnie, I know it's a long time in the future. And the date we're talking about is December 1st, 2026. What date is that? That's when the Major League Baseball Players Union and the CBA expires here. So on Polymarket, they're actually asking you the question that you can invest in right now. New MLB CBA by December 1st. There is absolutely zero chance that happens. A year ahead of time, the highest paid players in baseball are telling you they love what the Dodgers are doing, which is a strike against their own team. Aaron Judge, in his own city, beloved and MVP and paid a ton of money, is currently ripping his owners for not spending even more money despite being in the top 3 payrolls in Major League Baseball. Now you have the Major League Baseball owners, Joe. They're telling you right now, we have war chests ready to go, and we will lock you out the entire season. This isn't saying, Joe, will there be a CBA by the time we start Major League Baseball season? They're actually saying, are we going to get a CBA done ahead of time when you know Major League Baseball doesn't work that way? It's currently trading at a 51% chance. There is no shot they have a CBA by December 1st in place. None whatsoever.
Nope. Not, unless something crazy happens, and now there's even more doubt and questions with the removal of the leader of the entire players union. So, Donnie, I'm with you. To me, I think to think anything else other than lockout right now is absurd.
By the way, and I'm taking a look at this right now, and I need this, hopefully it comes up on the Calci marketplace, Joe, because both ways, if you say yes, that we have a CBA, it pays back $107.53. If you say no at this point, it's $108.72 here. Now, I'm assuming here that the $100 pays back, is that $108 in total, which means you made $8 on that? That doesn't sound right at this point, does it? How can they have a 51% chance with trading at 91%? What are we doing here, Polymarket?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, isn't it?
They don't
The
want you.
math isn't
They don't want you to
mathing
take
there.
this show. They don't want you
Yeah,
to take
I'm
this
thinking
show. They
that's-
know they're about to be set up.
Yep, that's exactly. And plus, you got to wait until what, December 1st? So now you got to lock it up and wait till December 1st. That's
You
crazy.
know what? We're getting the war chest started here on the Sports Grid Network. We're going to put
Yes.
all our funds into the no, and we'll retire at the end of the year. Sounds like a great plan, doesn't it? Or not?
You had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listening to those games there, how about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Quick note here. Gold medal time for Team USA at the Olympics. Who did it? How about this? Michaela Schifrin wins her first Olympic gold medal in 12 years. Moments ago, Joe. How about that? Couldn't find the podium, finds it now, and standing tall with a gold medal.
Yeah, I mean, how rewarding is that, right? If you first you don't succeed, right? Try again, Donnie. And she hits pay dirt here and gets the gold. Good for her and good for Team USA. I think there were 9 total golds available here in today's competition, and we just got one of them, so that's great.
By the way, don't you remember, Joe, when we started talking about the Olympics, where we had that one number, like 8.5 gold medals, and it spiked to like 13.5 overnight? Individual medals here, important here, heading down the stretch, depending on where you got that number. Now, Joe, when we talk about numbers, let's flip it back over to the NFL, because I've always been on the adage to say the NFL doesn't really have a salary cap. It's just what the ownership groups look at each other and say, I can tell my fan base we don't really have any money at this point. But we know as well as everybody, as long as you have a pen and some paper, a checkbook, and the ability to write that check, you can make up whatever number you want. Oh, no, the Kansas City Chiefs heading into an offseason where Mahomes is injured and they don't have a lot of money to spend. This is going to be a terrible season. Well, the Chiefs came out and go, Patrick, we're going to move some of your money around. You're worth up to around $78 million against our cap. Sign this piece of paper and it lowers it to $34 million. But Patrick, you get even more money on top of it here. One check, one stroke of a pen, $43 million that you now have to spend in free agency. Ain't it fun?
Yeah, you take the money out of the left pocket, you put it in the right pocket, basically, Donnie. But you also free up the ability to be able to sign other players. Nobody did this better than the Patriots and Tom Brady in his career, right? I mean, Brady always took discounts and figured out ways that, he could afford the other guys around him in order to make a run at a Super Bowl every year. And listen, Mahomes, this is exactly what the Chiefs are doing right now.
I'll tell you an interesting story that is popping up here in the offseason, Joe, because free agency is coming up, the tags are coming up, and we'll certainly be talking them ad nauseum over the next couple of weeks. But Mike Evans, you're not hearing from ownership or Jason Licht, who's a very good general manager for Tampa Bay, hey, man, Mike's our guy. We're going to work this thing out. It feels like both of these sides are giving each other the cold shoulder, and he's probably more likely to play elsewhere than Tampa Bay. That's kind of an interesting move, isn't it? No?
But again, I'd be shocked, Donnie, if that ultimately they can't figure something out there. I mean, they need him too. I mean, granted, they got nice young, receivers there, but he's not going to demand. You're not going to break the bank by signing him back there with Tampa Bay. So I think cooler heads will prevail, and I think ultimately whatever his last year is going to be, his last year is going to be as a Tampa Bay Buck.
Tax rates are great there. He's been there his whole career. He's a Tampa legend. It's not okay, Joe, we're going to a seventh-round rookie that's going to be your quarterback. We got J.J. McCarthy as a quarterback. Yeah, I'm out of town. I can't deal with that. Baker force feeds him the football when he's healthy. I can't see him going anywhere else at this point now. Robert Woods, he's not going anywhere else but the retirement, but will retire as a Los Angeles Ram after 13 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's kudos. I mean, because that's where I would have remembered him anyway as a Ram there. But he did play 13 seasons in the NFL. Pretty good stuff there.
How about the Packers here? Rich Bisaccia is stepping down. He was the last competent head coach, I guess you could say, of the the Las Vegas Raiders at that point here. But he's down after 3 years, giving up.
Yeah, I throw the towel in. I'm shocked that he's still kicking around, but. We know how this works. Guys like Bisaccia, they'll be on another sideline in another team somewhere along the lines. Always happens. Guys like him they're lifers and they're hard to come by.
They'll tell you, running backs are a dime a dozen here, Joe. Adam Schefter with a tweet. It's unlikely Seahawks will use their franchise tag on running back and Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker per league sources here. Yeah, he's not going to get that tag. And also, you got to extend a couple players here. Super Bowl year. Everybody overinflates their price, and you got to pay maybe the best young wide receiver in football, JSN, as well.
Yeah, they got some decisions to make, and we knew this, right? But he didn't listen. If Seattle doesn't give him the money, somebody else will overpay for him. But whoever it is likely not going to be competing for another Super Bowl. So careful here. I mean, I'm all about go to get your money, but what's going to matter more, getting that money or taking a little bit less and competing for another Super Bowl title?
Joe, there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL with a lot of money to spend. I think we brought it up yesterday with the Tennessee Titans. Can basically play anybody they want, whatever the price is here. So teams aren't going to want to say, okay, we're not going to give you the franchise tag. We'll let you go off in the free agency and bring back your best deal. They might not come back with any deal and already be signed by another team. March 3rd, teams can start applying the franchise tag, or should I say from yesterday through March 3rd. George Pickens, Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce. By the way, Alec Pierce, if you haven't heard that name much, he's going to be a hot commodity. When you see that final paycheck, you're going to be like, who? Yeah. What? He's going to get paid. Pitts, Walker III. Hey, Trey Hendrickson makes an appearance. And Breece Hall, the running back of the Jets. There's a lot of money out there, but you are a franchise that doesn't understand what you're doing if you have to use the franchise tag for the entire season. Sometimes, Joe, you just slap that tag on it, tie up that money, work out a deal before training camp, which is most teams do outside the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, please don't tag Trey Hendrickson. Don't do this to the guy. Just trade. Let him go, man. Just let him. He does not want to be there in Cincinnati. Please just figure out a way or tag him and trade him. Just get him out of Cincinnati and let the guy go compete for a Super Bowl someplace else. Unreal.
How about this story here? You're going to like this one, Joe. The Panthers have re-signed 40-year-old long snapper J.J. Jansen to a one-year deal, bringing him back for his 18th season. This is one of those jobs. Sometimes, Joe, we talk about the backup quarterback. Again, they don't play into their 40s typically, but if you're solid and you have a really good quarterback on the team and you're good in the locker room and the head coach likes you along with the general manager and the quarterback themselves, you can play 10 or 15 years and not even really be a part of an NFL team because you're the backup quarterback. But, man, being a long snapper, Joe, what do you do in practice? I'm sure you work out and all you do is, look down and back and between your legs and snap the football. But if you're decent at that job, you can play 15 to 20 years in the NFL.
And it's not an easy job to be decent at either, Donnie. But even the NFL, I mean, all the rules that they've passed here, you basically can't touch the guy after he snaps. Like, you can't jump on him, you can't jump over him, you can't push him out of the way. So all you have to do is go out there and just not mess up the long snap. That's it, Donnie. And you get yourself a very lucrative career.
And by the way, we take it for such granted in the NFL. Like, yeah, you'll see bad snaps from time to time and maybe a low snap on a field goal that, disrupts the process. But these guys are like timing belts out there, man.
Yes.
Tick tock, tick tock. I mean, you say, oh, yeah, go out there and snap it 15 yards between your legs with full pads on and do it perfectly every single time. They do it here. They get compensated pretty well to certainly do that, Joe. Now, we brought up this topic a few segments ago. The NFL and what they're doing, Joe, sometimes I think it's a travesty. We're back and you speak, hey, we're going to play like 1 or 2 London games, really bad football teams with low attendance. We'll send you over, you get a payday, and you could be the sacrificial lamb for international audiences. Now we're pulling the best teams thousands of miles away from their home destinations and saying, this is for the good of the game. For the good of the pockets of the owners, yes. For the good of the players, absolutely not. For their own fans who just would like to say, like, hey, we lost a game at home to play on the road, and also just from a competitive advantage. Like, where would you rather be as the 49ers? A home game in Mexico City, which is basically we play at elevation, it's going to disrupt our program, or in front of our own fans at home? Travesty, man. I don't see what the NFL does in this. I don't like it.
I don't know how they come up with who they're sending. You're sending to France. You're sending the Browns and the Saints? Like, do you not want football in France? Is that basically what you're doing? You're like, let's just send them the worst teams and we're good. I don't know how they come up with the teams and decide who's going where.
You know what we need, Joe? Here's what needs to happen. Like, if we talk about teams that are going to tank in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins this season, cutting their whole roster. Why can't we just have a designated global team, Joe, that plays every one of their games on the road overseas, and that's how we handle it? Because they'll make a ton of money. It'll be a wasted year anyway because they don't want to win. They'll get the #1 draft pick, and they'll do the NFL a service at that point. Can't we just do that?
Makes sense. I don't understand what it doesn't feel to be that hard. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's the NFL.
I mean, heck, you can play games in Hawaii, Tahiti, Uzbekistan. Make it happen. Be right back.
Like the.
You had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listen at those games there. How about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor?
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Sports gaming here. Now, you might find out and say, you know what? I turn on the SportsGrid network. I like to hear a lot from FanDuel and DraftKings, but also you like those other markets that we're providing you now, and those predictive markets, which we do a show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that you can watch right here on the SportsGrid network. Prediction Markets Edge. Love to do it. It's myself and Joe Ranieri giving that other look at how you can actually invest your money. And sometimes new things are very good because the people go, oh, this might be a new pattern that we like, and you leave old things in the past. When we talk about old things, Joe, we're talking about 2017, the overturn of PASPA here, which in New Jersey legalized gambling, setting the table for the rest of the states across the United States to start to turn on their gambling assets at this point. But there's not infinite money that pours in. And once we saw 2017, Joe, where all of the gambling companies saying we just want expansion, we got tons of money. And if you were an investor in the stock market, you go, you know what, this makes sense. These companies will be around for a long time. Let me invest and see if I can get along on that gravy train. Well, here from Front Office Sports, we're going to start to talk about DraftKings down 50% over the past 6 months with their stock. Quote, our stock is getting killed, says CEO Jason Robbins to Front Office Sports. Quote also, which I don't think is necessarily fair, but such is life. We have to prove it here, Joe. Those markets are stringing. The extra money is not out there. And also in an economy where everything is so expensive, maybe the gambling funds for a day-to-day basis for your average Joe just isn't there where it was 5-6 years ago.
Well, and, at the same time, your ability to be able to hold on to customers, anytime they win, all of a sudden you're not, Donnie, they turn you away. It's like, well, you're kind of your own worst enemy here, aren't you? When you're pushing nothing but, 18 parlay bonuses, guess what, Donnie? It might come back to haunt you there down the road. And it is, but it's like anything else. It's a market. It'll have its peaks, it'll have its valleys, and if you're smart enough, you just weather the storm and get it going, because you're still partners with the NFL, are you not? Last I checked.
And also, like, when they started out, and they do this to you to get you hooked in, and rightfully so, like, okay, New Jersey, you're going to be turned on here. And we're just talking about DraftKings, and let's just say FanDuel right now. Hey, you know what? Sign up with $100. We'll give you $100 on top of that. And then we'll give you like 5 100% bonuses up to $50 or $100 right behind that. Boy, you're going to have free wins. You're going to build up your bank account, and we'll get you hooked on gambling because it's a lot of fun at this point. But what did you notice over the years since 2017? So now, as we sit here in 2026, everybody has seen it here. And Joe points out, right, it's very rare that there's going to be a guy consistently winning night-to-night basis, year-to-year in this point. There are the very few in between that can actually do that. But once they find you can do that, they no longer want you there. And also, when you take a look at some of the bonuses, we know everybody that plays boosts and bonuses and six-way parlays here. And I keep saying, how do you continuously get great boosts and bonuses there? When meanwhile, what I used to do, Joe, is like, okay, Donnie, we're going to give you a $100 max wager, and it's going to be a 50% odds boost here. So I would go to FanDuel or DraftKings, whoever's offering Bet365, and be like, here's what I'm going to do, Joe. I'm going to take this football player to run for 20 yards, this football player to catch 15 yards versus passes, and the game total to go over 22.5 points. Boost it up, $100 pays back $100. Well, after a while, Joe, they started telling me, like, okay, well, that boost now goes from $100 to $75. Now it's down to $50. Now today, Joe, it's down to $5 and $10, which is like, that's not even worth my while to do this at this point. So your point is there. If you keep the people hooked and involved, like, they would love, like, oh, 50% odds boost at max of $100. This guy just put a $100 wager down on a 30-1 parlay with zero chance. And the next day they'll give him that same chance to win that money back. But if you're saying, let me see if I can make honest choices here, that ain't the case anymore.
No, it's not. And, again, they kind of created their own issues here in a lot of different ways. And it's unfortunate. But don't forget, Donnie, as consumers and as bettors, it's like anything else. You're going to have one's going to go away, another one's going to pop up. And right now, with the predictive markets, what they're doing is, well, they're making it very, very difficult here for those that just thought they were going to be at the top of the heap. And no matter what they did, they'd still be around. Welcome to the free market. That doesn't always happen that way, does it?
Exactly. Free market enterprise, Joe, which is why we do the predictive market show here, just to give you that alternative. Say, hey, look, here's what you can actually do. And not just having a show to run numbers and tell the people what to bet, Joe, but similar instances where sometimes you look at DraftKings and FanDuel for the Super Bowl itself. We did it. We had a great show and a great topic on it. It's like, I don't understand this. Minus 200 for a guy to score a touchdown. What's his real number to not score? FanDuel, DraftKings, like, good luck with that. We're not going to give you the no. You can only bet the yes. And we're going to juice it higher because we want to take it. Well, then you take a look at the predictive markets and they go, Sure, here's an honest market on the no. You can get plus money here if Kenneth Walker III doesn't score a touchdown. He didn't score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. You can't bet that on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Bet365, but the predictive markets you can. And also, not everybody is just a sports fan, Joe. Like, hey, the wife or somebody in the industry, or you're talking around, you're saying, hey, man, I don't think this movie is going to win this person's going to win best actress for this movie. You can wager on that. Other outlets, you can't do it. It's an emerging spot where they're filling that void, and now you're feeling the pain at places like FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah, exactly correct. And again, you give the consumer options, feasible options, realistic options, and this is what's going to happen. And not to mention that you're also, all the investment money, all the hedge fund money, and all of the, the venture capitalist money. Guess where it's going? It's not going anymore to the DraftKings and FanDuel. It's going to Kalshi. It's going to Polymarket, because that's what's driving the market right now in this, because they offer something that doesn't have to go through and jump through a million hoops to get legal. Don't forget, I mean, you've got California, right, that still doesn't have any form of legalized sports betting, Donnie, right? But you know what they do have? They got Kalshi, and they got Polymarket. They have predictive markets right now. So go figure.
It's something I never thought would come into play. And it always seemed like when you started to hear about it, it's like, this is one of these fly-by-night companies that's going to go up in smoke. But when you put the time in and take a look, there are opportunities where you already almost know the outcome of something. It's like, yeah, if you put money down, you can get it. You don't have that on books at this point. And understand this too, which we get frustrated with so many times, Joe. How many times you took a bet, let's just say on FanDuel or DraftKings, and it's a futures wager. Hey, I took this at 100-1. Whoa. Months later, it has a realistic chance to win. They go, all right, that $100 that will pay back $30,000. Here's your buyout, $1,100. You're like, what? 11? It should be way worse than that. Go to Polymarket, as Joe points out many times. Kalshi, real-time odds here that you can cash out at exactly what that number is supposed to be. You can ride it out. You can take a new contract on it or sell it for a massive profit, even though, Joe, that you actually might not even win it in the end. It's getting in, it's getting out, so to say, getting paid at the same time. Great topics here, which is what we always provide on the early line. One more segment to go. Let's get you paid.
Had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
George, Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Road trips to Kentucky and Tennessee, which are pressure environments where mistakes can snowball a team quickly. And not even listening to those games there, how about the home games they have left with Alabama and Florida, who bring size, who bring pace, and physicality that punish you on both ends of the floor.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
final segment of the day. Put a bow on this day that we call Hump Day here, halfway to the weekend. Love to see it at this point, Joe, but we got some interesting topics to talk about. We talk about Major League Baseball season. Wouldn't it be a shame if the Dodgers won the World Series this year and couldn't repeat for a fourth because the season was canceled? But here's Mookie Betts talking about a possible three-peat.
It's day one of camp, which is kind of crazy to think. When you think about just everyone being here, going for a three-peat, being back together, what's it been like for the group and kind of seeing everyone today?
It's been good. I mean, like you said, it's day one. Got a long way to go, so I think everybody knows and everybody's prepared.
Dave Roberts talked about how when he addressed the team this morning, a couple of guys, including yourself, spoke. Can you just share what your message was to the team?
Just about preparation, being prepared. I mean, our confidence is going to come with our preparation. I think that's across the board in really anything you do in life. So that's kind of all it was, just making sure you're prepared so you're confident when we play.
I know you're a veteran in this game, but for you personally this season, what are you working on, maybe at the plate or on the field?
Nothing in particular, just playing, man. That's all you can really do is just play. Obviously, I would love to get better and better, but that's kind of like a pit that you never really that you just fall into. And so sometimes you just be who you are. You don't have to be more. Obviously, nobody wants to be less, but just embracing who I am and understanding it and just kind of doing that.
Yeah, baseball players are boring. That's what I get out of all these interviews, Joe.
Yeah, well, here's what you are there, Mookie. I'm glad you're not working on anything because at the end of the season, into the postseason, you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat. So weren't they dropping you to eighth? It would seem to me like you'd be a guy that needed to work on something call me crazy, Donnie, being who I am. Well, who you were was dropped down to eighth in the order. That's what you were. So let's hope that he can be all he can be, and it's better than eighth in the lineup right now.
Yeah, I wish they were honest. Like, what would he work on a slider? I can't hit a slider. So if your pitcher out there right now throwing me a slider, I can't hit it here. Like, be honest with us, and we'll get more out of that stuff here. You know what else the people we got to get out of honesty for? What they like in our Fade the Public poll here comes up now. Stop what you're doing today in the afternoon. Why? Because Sweden's going to take on the men's hockey team here. And we asked a question you, the public, on what you think the outcome could possibly be. Will Sweden upset the USA in men's ice hockey? Never. There's always a chance. And yes, the USA is overrated. For me, I took the simple answer, Joe. You see that check mark? I went that way. There's always a chance.
Yeah, it's always a chance, but I think it all depends on who you ask, right? Because I'm fairly certain if we ask just strictly our Canadian brethren, if Sweden or the U.S., I'm pretty sure they would have chosen, no, they stink, Team USA is not losing to Sweden. It's not happening. They will advance and be the second seed. That's it. Just get ready. It's USA and Canada.
Yeah, even if you have to rig it. Everyone wants to see USA, Canada. You make more money. The ratings are higher. That's the way we get down to business here. Also, the way we get down to business, Joe, giving people college basketball winners like we did yesterday on a 2-0 sweep. Here's bye, bye, bye. Take us away, Joe. Where do we go?
Well, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the one thing that is broke is people who continue to bet UConn as double-digit favorites when all they do is play with their food, Donnie. Connecticut has been awful this year as a double-digit favorite. And guess what they are tonight against Creighton? 16.5 points they are laying. Now, listen, are they better than Creighton? Of course they are. They've been better than any team that they have played as a double-digit favorite. The problem is they're 5-13 against the number when they are a double-digit favorite this year. They continue to play with fire week in and week out, Donnie. So sooner or later, they're going to get burnt. Does that mean they lose this game? I don't know. Does it mean that they're going to win it by more than 16.5? No, they don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Take the points.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Missouri Valley Conference for my next appearance here, Joe. Gardner-Webb yesterday, Missouri Valley today. Northern Iowa's going to take on Indiana State. Do you know, Joe, Indiana State's offense absolutely stinks. 10th in the conference play out of 11 at turning the basketball over. They don't rebound well, and they don't get to the free throw line. And when they do get to the free throw line, they're dead last in conference play at 64%. But NIU on defense, number 1 in defensive rebounding, number 1 at not fouling, and number 1 at defending the three-point line. We're not getting any points today from Indiana State. Take their team total. Ooh, look at how low it is. Don't you worry. 65.5. Cash and tickets, 2-0 again tonight. Those are the expectations for Joe Ranieri and Donnie Right Side. See you bright and early once again tomorrow morning.